Oh my goodness, I did not see that coming.
Matt, gold star. Like, definitely gold star. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Bachelor Breakdown. I'm Dami and this is Mariah again, here to break down the last episode of The Bachelor.
Yeah,
let's get into it. So season 25, episode 3. Crazy stuff happened. Okay, so we start this episode at the end of the rose ceremony where Sarah's having her little fainting spell.
Yes.
I don't know why I use air quotes, but we're gonna put
Well,
that.
was it real though?
I think it's possible for people to have nervous breakdowns and have such a situation happen to them. And I'm gonna say yes, it was real.
But then why was she so nervous if she already had a rose?
That's what I'm saying, but I think the thing is there are different kinds of people and there's people who truly can't handle this. And it looks like Sarah's one of those people. At the beginning of the episode, I was like, question mark, like, you have a rose, you're secure, why are you nervous, like, what? And the fact that she didn't feel this way, well, I think, here's the thing, because at the first ceremony, she hadn't formed a connection with Matt yet. And after her one-on-one, I think maybe it became much real for her, and that she was feeling that weight and anxiety, and that caused that fainting spell. What do you think?
I do think it was real, mainly because she like pulled on Brie as she was falling. I feel like if she was just doing it for drama, she wouldn't like think of doing that.
Okay.
And
you think?
I also don't think she would fake it. I think she was overwhelmed with anxiety. Yeah. But it was kind of malicious for the girls to think that it wasn't real. And I don't know if that was just for a soundbite or they really, I don't know, in the bubble things just.
To be fair, if I was one of the girls, I would probably, I would first of all react that way. Like, I'm over here too panicking, waiting for my name to get called, and that's the only thing on my mind. And you, with your secure rose, have to have, like, a nervous breakdown right this moment. So, like, obviously they weren't too pleased, but, no, nobody would be, but, you know, I'm sure, like, they wanted the best for her. They wanted to make sure she was okay. And so, yeah, I don't know. There's more comes later into the episode. Yes. So, yeah. But yeah, did you notice that like when Victoria was doing her interviews at this point, she kept saying Sarah.
Yeah. She has a soft A when she says anything.
I thought she was being like, just like, you know how she's like weird.
No, I picked up on that like early on, like
really?
If not episode 1. Yeah, she said has a soft A.
I was like, she's probably just like, you know, hating as usual. But I noticed too in that shot, she was wearing a gray sweater, and like a few moments later in a different shot with her, like in her like testimonials or interview, she was wearing that ugly dress that she was wearing, the ugly dress, the pink one with the little big sleeves. So I was like, the producers are splicing two different.
It's potential, or it's potential that she had already changed and was like, I'm doing my interview in my sleepy, you know, wear or whatnot. But yeah, producers have, it's known that they do slice things out of order.
Out of context. Okay. Marylynn didn't make it.
Oh my goodness. I did not see that coming.
You didn't?
Did you see that coming?
Well, if Victoria stayed, I felt like the chances were lower of her staying. Like, I wanted her to stay, especially because he was very thoughtful and went to go get her an orchid. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I was thinking of you. I got you an orchid because you said an orchid was your favorite. Yeah, I was like.
That Victoria said?
I was like, so you got her an orchid but no rose? Matt.
That, I don't know. That was very confusing.
Very.
I was blindsided.
She was blindsided. Imagine I was blindsided too. But yeah, producer. So this is why I think the orchid was producer's idea.
Gosh, that's so messy.
Or sending her, because like, anyhow,
like imagine being her on a roller coaster. Like, oh, my man got me like my he was favorite thinking of flowers.
Me. Sometimes guys do that though. They would make you hype, and then radio silence after a while. Not from experience. I just wanted to comment on Serena C's boots. She had those like glitter gold. She has great style. I think all of them do, but she particularly, I like that she takes a lot of like risk and she does it right. So, okay, so group date. They went to, we had Ashley, a Bachelor veteran, come and read that little excerpt from Chris Harrison's book. And then the women were supposed to basically come up with their own, I guess, erotica, would you call it?
Yeah.
A story about them and Matt. And so Yeah, what were your thoughts on this date?
It was just like so in your face. Like I want the conversations like Tayshia had, like just a little more serious. Like when are you gonna ever have to do that?
Yeah.
In real life, ever, literally ever. Like that's just not a practical date. But then also, it's just like so in your face.
Here's the thing. Obviously, too, I definitely miss having those conversations. Like Tayshia's season really was gold star. Like definitely gold star. I don't know. I thought it was funny, but I feel like that should be that part of the day and something else, like more with substance. Yeah. Which they had the night portion of the date to do that, and so.
I mean, some of them, right?
That is true, which we'll get to. But I just thought it was funny because when Victor was practicing to Ashley, Ashley's face was like.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What is Victoria saying? But we still didn't get to hear it because I guess it was not appropriate.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah. But I thought it was interesting that all the women's faces when Matt was speaking, they were like, Mariah was like, I was also right there with that to me. Yeah, we're here like what did Katie say? Katie too, I guess she and Victoria were the two most
out.
Yeah, they must have said something really interesting. I thought it was interesting too. Victoria said the girls are all vanilla and she's here to bring in the spice. And she ended with yes, queen.
Yes, queen.
Classic. But yeah.
It seemed like all the people had fun though. The girls who were doing the talking, but then also the girls in the audience.
Yeah. I thought Rachel too. I thought Rachel was cute. What do you think of Rachel?
Yeah, she was cute. I felt like it was in line kind of with Breeze and Matt. Like it wasn't too much vulgarity. Crazy. Yeah. Like a little playful, like
yeah. And I thought it was interesting that Matt likes the unknown, he says, to Breeze. So all the other girls that were out here laying it all down, Frank being direct. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sarah side eye because she was getting a little emo already.
Yeah. But I feel like those faces that she had would be faces that I would be doing like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like,
but sis was like, I didn't realize. Like, I'm like, you know what you signed up for. Like, I always get frustrated with people who like I which to be fair, like you never know until you're in the moment. But this is literally in the forefront of what Bachelor is about. Like, it's not just you. Hello. If you can't handle it, don't sign up. Don't sign up to begin with.
I think we talked about this in Tayshia's season. I think a lot of people just don't know how much like it takes from you emotionally. Like for Ben, or not Ben, my boy Brendan. Like you don't know until you know. It's the same thing. Like you go in thinking that you're ready, and then you realize I'm not ready for this.
This is not about readiness, though.
It partially was because she. At the end, when she was leaving, she did say, like,
that she's not best Sarah. This is not best Sarah. Okay.
And you don't realize that till you're in the gauntlet.
That's fair. And I respect her for recognizing it, like, early and not waiting, like, late and, like, knowing this. But we can get to that.
Because she easily could have gone to hometowns, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think she and Matt, like, Matt definitely was so into her. The fact that he was, I mean, I don't know that he was that torn when she left, but he basically asked her to not go.
It was so early,
Yeah. So then, after that date, which they went to night portion, and then Sarah shows up because she, I guess, I don't even know really what she was feeling because no one knows because they were trying to ask her, like, what was the issue? What was the matter that it couldn't wait till the rose ceremony or, like, another time for you to talk to him? And she was like, it's between me and Matt. And I just told you what it is. And people are like, no, you didn't
say anything.
Which really she did not.
Yeah.
What did you think of that moment?
I think, it could have been handled better. But it's just, that's so messy. Like, what do you think she should be like, hey, girls, I want to take time and then go talk to Matt?
First of all, it was not that important. She did not have to come right in the middle of their date. She had her whole one-on-one morning night date to herself, maybe not full 24 hours, but she had a lot of time with Matt. And these girls get like such little time split between like 8 other people, and she just felt in her spirit that was a perfect time to go talk to. Couldn't she wait till after the group date? Like a lot of times people go like to the leads place after their date is over. Like she could have done that and not taking time from the other girls. Like she was not. I just feel like any human would be considerate, like to think, like she didn't think that far. Maybe she didn't think that far, or she was just not. She felt that her relationships was more important than other people, and I just feel like that for me, I did not like.
How much do you think it's her versus the producers?
That's what I was also thinking too. Like it could be the producers wanting to stir things up again, producers, But the fact that she was apologetic about it, because I feel like most people who do stuff like that is just like obviously, you know, like they're inconsiderate or like, I don't know what the word, like stirring things up. Those people are people like, I'm not here to form sororities, which at the end of the day, or like, I'm here for me and Matt. Like, I'm not here to make friends. Like, those people are obviously like, they don't care about the other people. But I thought that at least she was. So I'm like, maybe the producers encouraged her to, and then she felt sorry after. That's the story I'm gonna go with right now.
But then also, I'm also thinking that because she did go that night to talk to him, it also frees up one extra space for all the other girls on all the other group dates that she would have been on. So yes, she may have taken 5-10 minutes today, but that gives the other girls like 40 minutes over the course of all the next group dates.
But she didn't know at that point that she was gonna leave. I mean, personally, I just feel like she could have waited. Like, she could have had her time. Like, everybody, I feel like, I mean, I've never been on the show, obviously, but anyone in that kind of environment would feel that, you know, uneasiness when you see your man, whatever you want to call it, with other women, or, like, feel like, you know, just being in that, like, anyone would feel that way. And she's not the only one. She's had a one-on-one, for goodness sake. And, like, there's going to be a cocktail party. She could see him in the morning. She could see him after. I was like, there's other times that it could happen. Not interrupting when he was talking to someone. Like, how... If I was Katie, I would be a lot more pissed than that. But to be fair, Katie was pissed.
Yeah, she was.
She was. But she...
And props to her for going back.
Yes.
That was ballsy. I wouldn't have done that. I don't know.
I have mad respect for Katie now.
Mad respect.
But we'll get to that. But even when, like, Victoria started talking to Sarah, and then Katie came, and then she left. But then Katie went, and she just, like, really handled it really beautifully. I was saying that, like, what was so important, and, like, you know, like, and I thought that she wasn't emotional. She wasn't overly emotional, and she was very clear and direct, and, like, still, like, not, like, mean or anything. But I just felt like Sarah should not have done that. Even if she went to apologize, like, props to her for doing that. But she had to have, like, thought more about how her actions are going to affect other people. Serena P had her one-on-one. But before that, Matt went to go find... Sarah was in her room by herself. I think this is the beginning of her, what I want to call depressed Sarah, lonesome time. Whatever you want to call it. And she did not want to join the girls downstairs. And so Matt was like, 5 minutes. I'm going to go talk to Sarah and I'll be back. Which... if I was Serena P, I would have felt some type of way because today was supposed to be about me, and... I
think she handled it really well.
I think she did.
So, like, she brushed it off, and it was like, it's my time.
She was like, 5 minutes, I get the whole day. I heard it, and I was like, yes, Serena P. Which, it was more than 5 minutes anyway, but, you know, it was basically Sarah drama the entire episode. I wrote here, Victoria was connecting with the fake woman sorority ? So remember how she was like, I'm not here to form a sorority, but all of them were like connecting over the fact that they all were frustrated with Sarah. So it was interesting to see that Victoria was connecting with people.
They were bonding over bullying Sarah.
We can get to that in more depth when we get to the ending part.
Next, we had Serena P's date, and they went horseback riding, and they had a charcuterie board. But the board wasn't even a board, it was a blanket. And then Matt made a comment about not really drinking wine.
Yeah.
Which kind of
confirmed our suspicion. Well, I don't know, maybe he drinks beer, but not wine. But he looks like he just drinks water. Yeah. And other things. And then when they were trying to, like, they were having their little moment, and it's like the producers were in the back, let's release some donkeys. Why did the donkeys just come out? You know what? This is producer work. I mean, we can see it. We can smell producer all over it. But yeah, the donkeys came out. But it was a cute date.
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah. If I had that horseback riding, I would have got on the horse and started giddy up, immediately galloping.
That was, Have you ever been horseback riding?
I did. I've been to horseback riding camp. Know how to do that.
Wow, that's cool. So you're, ready for the show because this is like a classic Bachelor date.
Yes.
I don't think there's ever been a season without a horseback riding date. But yeah, and I also commented here, like, they showed us how Matt felt. Like, Matt, like, I think this was the first person that he clearly was, like he was saying how he feels about the person already, which was interesting, I put here Serena P cute, Matt cute, because both of them are just like, you know, I can see you at the end of this. I feel like this is the first time that I'm noticing that he actually said this about someone. Mm-hmm. Like most people, it's like, yeah, like it was fun, really connected, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But this was like, yeah, like he was like he's really into Serena P. Mm-hmm. I was shocked about that because like
didn't he say he was falling in like as well?
Yeah, I think so. Well, she said that
to the camera.
No, to him too at the dinner portion.
Yeah.
And and he also was saying that like he feels like she's I think fresher breath or something, like she's like light and I think this is like I think she'll go really far just because we haven't seen a lot of her right now, and I think the producers do this in their edits usually, especially if she's gonna be in the final 2, which who knows. But I thought this was, I don't know, I just thought it was interesting that they showed us how he showed us how he really felt about her already.
Yeah.
Because like usually the lead doesn't say. I mean, well, this is his first time in the franchise, but usually the lead doesn't really show how they feel about a person until like much later down, until the person has said it as well. So I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did, but so it makes me wonder if the final like 2 will be Bree and Serena.
Bree, what about Abigail?
I don't know. Abigail has fallen down my list after her comment when...
I did notice that she spoke, which we can get to.
Which again, more of the women may have spoken.
Yeah, I wrote Abigail spoke up.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah, so we should talk about that later on after Serena P's date's over. The morning of the next date, which they're supposed to read out the next group date, which we don't get to see in this episode. But Sarah comes back after being in isolation, and everyone gets really upset. Literally everyone. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was like, which even if she was wrong, like they really bullied her, I feel.
Yeah, it seemed very blunt. Like she sat down and then they attacked. And it wasn't, I don't know, it just seemed like very over the top. But I get the frustration and the anger, and that's completely justified, especially when you have such limited time. Another rose ceremony is around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, that I would be very frustrated as well. But it did seem like a lot. And it sucks that it didn't seem like anyone spoke up for her in the moment.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna applaud Katie later, but I wrote here MJ chill. I mean, all of them were just high in their emotions, and I feel like if I was in that like right there, which you're in a group, even if some things that you might not necessarily say out loud, sometimes when you're in a group and you're feeling validated in your frustration and you're hearing other people validate it, it's easier to, just disregard a person the person as a person and just say whatever and talk down in that moment. Especially, like, I could tell MJ was upset because even when Sarah tried to talk to her, she was like, I'm too mad right now, let me go. And to be fair, like, I think that she did step on the toes and they're adjusting their anger. Although I think that just everyone attacking her at once was a little bit much. I would also have probably felt strongly wanting to leave as well if I was in that shoe. But yeah, I just felt that, like, they definitely bullied her out. And I don't know, like, I don't want to put a blame on any one of them because it's like both parties were like, she was like Sarah was just in the way that she was emotionally reacting to those attacks, but also the women were also just in the fact that they were really upset in that moment. Although, I mean, everyone could be upset and say things, but yeah, let's be careful of our words, people. Yeah, and I think also sometimes, like, it's easier to just, like, almost downgrade someone when you, like, detach them from just, like, being a human being. And I think in that moment, that's what was happening. Even Abigail, too, spoke up. I think we mentioned this, but yeah, and Serena C, I was like, oh my gosh. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but Victoria had pink eye.
Yeah, was that pink eye or just a sty? Because I don't think I don't know, either way.
I don't know.
Yeah, something's going on.
But yeah. But let's talk about Katie after. I think the next morning when Sarah decided that she wanted to leave, and she had that conversation with Katie about her dad, and Katie opened up about her dad also passing away. a few years back, and they connected. And I mean, Katie was a person who she really took time from in that moment in the group date at the beginning, and the fact that she was able to just step up and be like, no, like, I know, like, I'm, like, you hurt me, but, like, still, like, I think Katie handled it like a boss. I just wrote here, Katie being the bigger person, boss. I loved that. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I applaud Katie for sure for doing that 100%, and also for the way that she addressed the group later and didn't divulge all of Sarah's, family stuff, but did like call them out and say that it's not appropriate. Let's stay classy. Yeah, we truly, and that's something that we all can always learn, that we truly don't know what's going on in everyone else's life and why they might be acting the way that they are or what's going on. So.
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, when she even said it, like, when she started speaking and she was like, I don't want anyone, like, to feel like they're bullied, like, away from being here. And so, like, yeah, I definitely, because it's true, like, you don't know what anyone's going through, really. But it is hard as humans to not just act out of emotion. Especially when, like, everyone around you is doing the same thing. I was listening to a podcast by Brene Brown. It was really good. She was kind of talking about the whole situation that happened in the Capitol. Like, the way you talk about a person, even if the person is really the worst person on the planet. And she was even mentioning, too, like, similarly, like she doesn't like Donald Trump, but she would never call him less than a human being. Because once you start doing that, you're taking little bits of, like, humanness from the person, and it's making it easier for you to treat the person similarly. And I think over the course of those 3 days, or however many days that was, that people were probably having those conversations, saying things about Sarah in this way, and it was becoming easier and easier for them to, say mean things to her and just, like, disrespect her. Even if she earned that disrespect, no one really should, I feel like, people shouldn't talk to people like that. And it's easier said than done, but
What's the name of the podcast?
It's called Unlocking Us.
So next we had Sarah, and going over to Matt to say that she's leaving. Matt did ask her to stay one more time, but she was like, no, she's prayed about it, she's thought about it, it's time for her to go. And so she leaves, and so that's the last scene that we see in this episode. So, anything in the previews?
The new girls come.
New girls.
Yeah. So in the previews,
we see them come in.
This is my theory. I think there's new producers / editors this season. Okay. And the reason why I think is because this season is going off, like, even Tasha's season, but this season in particular is starting, like, beginning of each episode, they start with, like, a little bit of a scene in the middle that, like, with no warning, which I don't know that I love.
I didn't like it this episode.
I didn't like it.
I was very confused. Yeah. I was like, this is the beginning?
What? They did it on the first night, too. People were like, did I miss stuff? Even the second one, too. So I think there's new editors or new producers, and the fact that they feel like they need to bring some more girls in the middle of the show, especially... Yeah. I don't know why that was necessary.
Especially because they had time. Like, he was announced way ahead. There's no reason...
I don't know. Producers. Yeah,
we can go back to the old stuff with, like, a preview of the drama and then the show. But the random date with Serena C, I was like, okay, now I know she got the date. Yeah. Yeah.
That's Serena true. Serena P.
Yeah.
And even, like, in the preview from before, we saw Victoria talking, and so we knew that they chose her over. They're not leaving a lot to our imagination anymore, producers. Yeah. So, I guess we'll see. I think that was pretty much it in the preview. All right. Thank you for joining us in today's episode. And till next time, breaking down. I don't know if it worked. We got it all wrong over each other. I know. Well, thank you for joining us. Bye-bye. Serena P's date. Well, my note here says Matt doesn't really drink wine. Because they had the little...
charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Where is it? Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. I think it's charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
I
thought it was CHU something.
No, I think it's CHACU.
Charcuterie. Charcuterie.
No, it's charcuterie. Do you know why I know it's charcuterie? Either charcuterie or charcuterie. No, I think it's charcuterie because my friend made a board. Like, he does woodworking and he made one.
Oh, nice.
Charcuterie. And all my friends were making the corn. Yeah, I was like, what is that obsession with charcuterie? Charcuterie. It sounds like a Like an evil word. Produces in a high, and I, and high. That your accent just came out. Produces and I have a love and hate relationship. Okay, we're gonna cut that out.